guys, it's Frankie Widows here. So today I wanted to briefly talk to you about Yy lashes. So if you haven't heard about these before or you've seen them and you're not sure what they are, I'm going to guide you through what they are and how we can use them. So Yy lashes are relatively new to the industry, and back in 2019 we saw the introduction of a new type of lash, which was the Yy lash. Now at first this lash was questionable. I remember looking at it, seeing some pictures of it and thinking, oh, I'm not sure about that type of lash, and we weren't really sure whether clients would like this new type of pre-made volume effect. However, it seems to be that the answer is a big fat yes. So the Yy lash is what it says it is. It's two Y lashes that are bonded together to create a very unusual looking extension. Now it's applied like a pre-made, almost as well as a classic lash. So it's a really sort of universal lash, and it almost bridges that gap between classic and volume. Now you might be thinking, well, we've already seen the Y lash. Well, we have, years ago we had the Y lash, but we didn't have the Yy lash. And what the Y lash was it was one single Y lash, and it was very thick and very heavy. And usually each side of that lash was a 0.15. So when you add the weights together, not the thickness, just the weights, it was kind of equivalent to a 0.25 millimeter, which, as we now know, is far too heavy even for clients that have got very healthy natural lashes. So we were trying to use it back then, but we found that it didn't really bond to the natural lash well, and we were causing a lot of damage with it because it was far too heavy. However, they've reintroduced this lash, they've tweaked it, they've made it lighter, and now it is a great addition. So how you measure a Yy lash is that each strand in that almost YY is the thickness marked on the box. So if you're using a 0.05 millimeter Yy lash, then it's going to be made up of 4 extensions that are each 0.05 millimeter. So it's the equivalent to a 4D fan in 0.05, because Yy lashes only have 4 extensions in them. If they're marked to 0.07, then obviously it's going to be 4 times 0.07. So if you're not volume trained already and you do want to use them, here is just a very quick guide of what your clients can support if they're already wearing a classic type of lash. So if you're not volume trained, you won't have covered volumetric lash calculations before. So guys, you do need to know this. Otherwise, if you're just sticking Yy lashes in 0.07 on every single client, you're going to be causing damage. So I always recommend using a 0.05 millimeter Y lash because it's going to be safe for the majority of your clients. Now, like I said, the Yy lash, it might not be every client's cup of tea, but overall it's proved really popular, and currently they are available in several curls and thicknesses. So the most common you're going to see is the C, the CC and the D curl, and a thickness of 0.07 and 0.05 millimeters. But like I said, they're very, very new in the industry. So you're going to see introductions of probably different curls coming in. Maybe 0.06 is introduced, 0.03s. They might even be out there now, but I haven't seen them. You'll probably see coloured ones coming in. Probably brown ones will be quite popular. So yeah, there will be a big increase in the variety that we have of them as per any lash that gets introduced to the lash industry. So who's the Yy lash suitable for? It's for those clients that almost love that edgy volume look and kind of like to step away from that perfect fan look that most of us aspire to achieve. So like you can see here, with the Yy lash, it's quite sort of zigzaggy. It's quite edgy compared to the sort of very neat, uniformed volume look that we've become accustomed to seeing. It's also very versatile because it can also be used as the baseline effect for an edgy strip lash look that is applied around closed volume spikes, as you can see here. Now I love the Yy lash. Like I said, I wasn't that keen when it first came out, but then when I got it and I started using it and I wear it myself, I found that it's actually really easy to apply. It applies just like a classic lash because it's got that very long base on it, so it goes on really nicely. It's actually a little bit like working with a flat lash. It offers amazing retention due to the very sort of flat or straight base it has, which is very similar to the L or the L plush type of lash, if you've seen those before. It's a real quick and easy way to achieve a volume look. Because it's applied like classic lashes, you can bosh out a set in the same time that you can do a classic lash set, but still get that almost volume effect. It's great for those clients, like I said, that want that edgy look. They don't like that perfect Russian volume look, and it actually gives a really good dark eyeliner effect. Because the bases of them are flat, they're almost T-bar-y or like a flat lash, you'll always get that dark look running through like an eyeliner effect. You can also charge extra for this effect, so you're probably looking at, I don't know, about £5 to £10 if you're in the UK, or probably $10 to $20 if you're in the States. So it's a great way of increasing your lash menu and your lash revenue. And you actually get quite a lot of them in a tray compared to if you buy pre-made in a tray. So with YYs, you actually get quite a good cost-effective service for you. So again, it increases your lash revenue because you're also pricing these in between a classic and a volume set. So you'd almost price them maybe like you would do a hybrid set, but again, that's completely up to you. Now, a few quick rules of applying the YY lash before we go into the video. Please only dip 1mm in the adhesive. So just like touch your adhesive with it, because it has a very straight base, like a T-bar. Your adhesive will immediately want to travel up that base. And if it does, it's going to go all the way up. It's going to attach all the way to the natural lash. And then at an infill, it will be fully bonded and you won't be able to get it off. If you don't believe me, have a go on a mannequin head with it, and you'll see that you can't actually find the practice lash under the YY fan because you've accidentally bonded the whole of the natural lash to it. You need to attach it like a flat lash, so due to its shape, it's got to go onto the top or the bottom of the natural lashes. You can't attach it off the side because it's got a flat base, almost like a plank of wood. It's better if you do attach it underneath the natural lash. You get a better bond, as you'll see in my video, and also you can ensure that the natural lash is attached properly because you can see it attached almost on top of the YY lash. So you'll see the natural lash first and then underneath the YY lash, whereas if you come from the top, you're almost lashing blind. You almost have to feel the lash rather than being able to physically see that you've bonded it. You can create direction just like you would do in a flat lash. You just have to make sure that it's only the very, very base of the YY lash that's attached to the natural lash, and then almost that split between the natural lash and the YY lash is free because you need to create that direction. And when it comes to infill, you just perform them as you would do a normal classic or a normal volume set. So I hope that's given you a bit of a heads up as to how we would go about using these, and here is my video just to assist you guys. So in this video, we are going to very quickly cover how you go about attaching the YY lashes, and I'm going to be doing this on my mannequin head. It is very, very simple. It is just like working with a classic lash. Okay, it might take you a few minutes just to get the hang of it because you are working with a different type of lash, but trust me, it's really, really simple. So you would map your set as per usual you would do on any client. I haven't done it here on this mannequin head because I'm just going to show you the quick application of this. But like I said, yeah, just map as per usual. So I'm going to be using YY lashes in a D-curl 0.05. This means that when you see a YY lash, it's actually a 4D fan. So it's technically a 4D 0.05mm fan. So every single lash in that YY, and there's 4 of them, is 0.05. So actually it's a very lightweight lash. So we're just going to dive in here. I'm going to be grabbing a 12mm. Now, like a flat lash, you either need to go on top or the bottom of the natural lash. So if I come underneath, it's actually better because I can actually put the very base of that natural lash slap bang in the middle of the YY lash. So it's almost like it's wrapping, and then you can still control the direction like you can a classic lash. Again, I'll come over here, pick up my YY lash. If I wanted to go on top, I am lashing a little bit blind if I go on top, but I can still sort of feel that natural lash is in the middle, but it doesn't get as good as a bond as you can see here. So I've placed it on, I'm not quite happy. I can lift it off a little bit, just reposition it as to where I want. So if you can get underneath the natural lash, it's always going to be better. But if you're like me, you've got a lot of clients that natural lashes grow downwards, it's not always possible. Coming underneath, lift up, and you can still create direction with these. So if I did want to go off towards the nose, I would just make sure that the base of the natural lash is in the middle of the base of the YY lash, and I can still get direction. Yes, I've got quite extreme direction there, but I just wanted to show you that you can still create direction with them. Let's show it on this very, very outer corner. So if I wanted to get direction, I'm still going to get the angle. Just make sure that the base has got a good contact. Lift up, release, and I can still pull it over. Of course, your retention's not going to be quite as awesome if you're running completely flush with the natural lash, but sometimes that's not possible. As long as we've got good base to base attachment, that's going to be absolutely fine. In a corner, tiny bit of adhesive underneath, lift up. I can see that natural lash is slap bang in the middle, and it almost locks into place when you do get that natural lash slap bang in the middle. You'll just feel it. Now there are two ways of picking up the Yy lash. One option is to come down here, grab it just where the Y splits and have it like so. This is the better way of doing it because sometimes your YY fan can split if you grab it up high. Not always, but just give it a go. I think it depends on your tweezers. So with this one, you can sometimes get away with lifting it from up here. But sometimes if you're working with the shorter lashes, which don't have so much of a bond because the base is shorter, you might find that if you pick them up, it will split. It hasn't in this case, but really it is a go. But like I said, just go in, find where the base splits and pick it up about there. Now glue dipping your YY lash, really important. Literally touch the adhesive. That's all you need to do. Like it's a Russian volume fan, just touch the top of the adhesive because that will travel and shoot up that straight base. If you go in like this, you're going to cover all of that base, and then when you stick it to the natural lash, it's going to bond the whole natural lash. So when you come to take that lash off at an infill, if it's grown out, you won't be able to find that natural lash. So to do that again, we're going to go in, just literally touch. That glue will shoot up that base, more than enough adhesive for you to be able to place that on the client, and you'll get really good retention because this base is really straight and flat. So on someone like me that's got a very straight natural lash, if I turn that side on, you'll actually see I get really good retention, but I also get that nice lift upwards. So this works really, really well on me, this type of lash. So here's another shot of attaching the YY lash. If you're coming from underneath, just lift up, feel the grab, and slowly release. And like I said, you can move to where you want. It really is so simple, guys. Again, let's go in here. Let's grab ourselves a lash. Just touch that adhesive. If you want to come on top, almost come down the road of the tweezers. On top, find the natural lash. So it doesn't attach quite as well on top on practice lashes. You might just need to manhandle it into position, just give it a little. See how I'm struggling with that one? Let's go back in dip. Come back on. And just move to where we want to be. So like I said, my preferred attachment is actually underneath because you can just really see that natural lash is slap bang in the middle, and it will almost wrap onto that natural lash. Yeah, sometimes it will flop. It's a practice lash, like I said. But again, so very, very simple.